You're listening to the Endless Party Radio Show with the Doc on Colossal Radio.
I'd like to welcome Bob Vance Refrigeration on the show. Bob, are you there?
Yes, and that's my line. Bob Vance Refrigeration. So thank you very much.
That is
now,
so
do
fun.
I call you Doc or Doctor?
No,
or
I don't know. You can call me anything you want. It really doesn't matter. I don't know. Doc,
Bob Vance Refrigeration.
Hey, Bob Vance.
Junior.
Bob Vance. I missed my line. No wonder I'm not an actor. I missed my line.
You get another take in this game. That's a beautiful thing.
It is Robert R. Shafer. You got to be really careful if you just punch in Robert Shafer into Google. You come up with a murderer.
Yeah, I've noticed that's that guy from Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, it was, because that's what one of my guys did this morning, and they said, "Is this the right one?" I said, "What do you mean?"
Different one.
Yeah, I said,
although,
no.
I do play a serial killer in a film series called Psycho Cop.
Yes.
So I do have some experience with murder.
And I saw that Psycho Cop and Psycho Cop 2.
Yes, Psycho Cop Returns.
Yeah.
In fact, we just had a screening of it this last weekend. The director, Adam Rifkin, was there, and also the guy, William Lustig, who directed a competing series called Maniac Cop.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fun. We had a packed theater and a brand new print, and the film just crushed. So
That's awesome.
We may be tinkering with the notion of, bringing the killer back.
That's fun, man. It's such a pleasure. It's already out of the gate for a minute, and the feeling that you get with me on this side of the phone is just a great dude, very humble, and a hell of a lot of fun. And that's my first impression with again, Robert R. Shafer, better known as Bob Vance Refrigeration from The Office. And what a pleasure it is to talk, and what a great feel, man. And I don't know, it all started. You started here kind of like on the East Coast. I don't know. We did background information. Dad was a heavy equipment operator. Your mom was a housewife, and you went into acting.
Yeah, that's a pretty. I like the condensed version. That's the Reader's Digest version right there. Born, actor, died. That's the thing. You realize. Listen, I really got to assemble some credits so my death notice, it'll read well. What credits am I going to have in my what is it? What do they call it? Eulogy?
Your eulogy, yeah. Yeah, it is. It's great. You can genuinely feel how much like you've enjoyed this the ride that you continue to be on. And
it's improbable. It's improbable. I still can't really explain it. I mean, I do spend a little more time looking back than I do looking forward now. Mm-hmm. That comes with age.
Sure.
But, I'm from Pinch Ridge, West Virginia, which is, the middle of nowhere. And to end up in Hollywood on one of the greatest TV shows of all time, a lot of luck.
Yeah.
A lot of luck and a lot of hard work involved in that. And, a lot of just strange twists and turns along the way, but that's why they call it life.
Yeah, man.
So
it's such a cult following with The Office, and right here that we have ties in right here in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
One of the things the fans do is they like to, pick out anytime palm trees accidentally creep into one of the shots.
Interesting.
They're always. I mean, that was one of the toughest things for the photographers or the cinematographers is to, make California look like Pennsylvania when we're doing exteriors. But they were really, really adept at that. In fact, the first two guys who were our operators were from the TV show Survivor, the first couple seasons of that. Mm-hmm. So they were handheld. All our cameras were always handheld, and it's quite a tough job. But they were really good because that was what made the show, was the way we captured the off-the-line reaction. As I said, I'm from West Virginia. So a few years ago, they did a mini-series that was Hatfields and McCoys. Mm-hmm. So I was very excited to see it, and disappointed immediately when I looked at the very first episode, and I'm like, looking at the mountains, and I'm going, no, that does not look like West Virginia. Where did they shoot this? Well, they shot it in Romania. I had dinner after the show had aired. A friend of mine was one of the leads on it, and so I was interested in it, and I met with I had dinner with the producer, and I said, "Why Romania?" And he said, "Well, obviously money.
Right.
It's way cheaper." And I said, "Well, you got to go down to Tug Fork and shoot down there." And he said, "Well, the logistics are completely wrong. There's no housing, there's no equipment. I mean, you have to truck everything in. I mean, there's nowhere for people to sleep. There's nowhere to feed them. I mean, it just does. There's no way to do it
Right.
without doubling the budget.
Yeah.
If you had Michael Bloomberg's wallet, you could go shoot it. But other than that, forget it."
That is hilarious. That's right. That's it. And maybe we can ask him for some. Robert R. Shafer, Bob Vance Refrigeration, synonymous. You have your own. Like, there's even T-shirts. You can get T-shirts with Vance Refrigeration on it. The Office, Vance Refrigeration.
Well, Google it sometime on the shopping tab and see there's pages and pages and pages of it that come up.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm the number one collector of it. I think I have. Yeah, that's all I do. Is every week I buy another Vance Refrigeration item for the collection. But it started out very humbly, and then NBC, has a bunch of. The logo's so great, that they sell it.
Yeah.
Which is I've always been proud of that. But I've given away tons of this stuff. I mean, it's not free to me. I don't know why people think it's free. It costs me money to give you a hat. Okay, I know you want a hat. I know you want me to sign it, but it's coming out of my wallet, for God's sake.
You are a trip. That is too funny. Are you making any money on it? I mean, are they giving you any kind of cut on that thing? Because they should be.
No. You don't get. There's no funds to be had for that. The only they own that trademark. That's theirs. They came up with the name. If the only time you get paid for those type of things is if they use your likeness.
Okay.
In other words, if they use an actual photograph.
Listen, without you going, Bob Vance Refrigeration, there wouldn't be anything right there. So NBC, listen up. I think they let them just send you, even if it's only $10,000. Let them send you a $10,000 check.
Look, no, the show's been pretty good to me in that regard.
I am only kidding.
I'm not there.
Only kidding. It's it was one heck of a character. You and Phyllis. How was that relationship on the show?
Well, it's true love. I mean, I love Phyllis. I mean, that shows that you can't fake that.
Right.
I mean, that's I'm not acting. The trick was I just made everything about her. It's not about Bob at all. I don't think I'm not looking out, what's Bob up to. I'm always, every scene is Bob is looking out for Phyllis.
Right.
So that comes through subtextually. It's not overt. I mean, although he's very, smoochy and handsy, and, they're a little bit risque in their in their public adoration for each other. It's a little, that's not the kind of guy I am, but that's what they wrote. So it really, in season 2, when I came on the show, I was hoping that it would be a recurring role. I mean, because he was the boyfriend and I had the business next door. But I didn't know. I mean, I did the episode 10. The show was picked up for the rest of the season. At that point, there was joy, right? The mood of the show was, hey, wait, we have a winner. Now, I came into the last episode, which is one of my favorite episodes, Casino Night. I mean, that episode just has it all, and then some, and the kiss. Jim and Pam get the kiss. But we're sitting there at the card table. When Phyllis wins the hand with all the, what does she call them? Clovers.
Right.
She wins with all the clovers. She beats the World Series of Poker champion, Kevin. And so I was sitting there and I said, you know what? This relationship between Bob and Phyllis, you remember your first love in junior high school. Well, there was nobody else but that person you were in love with. You had blinders on. You couldn't see anything but the object of your affections.
Right.
So that's what I told Phyllis. I said, let's get that in here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so, really, I made something out of nothing on this show. There was no way that Bob was going to get, I mean, I made it into a little bit bigger part with more substance just by some choices that I made early on.
Yeah, I like that, and you had that flexibility. You had that. I mean, to throw different things in that you thought. I mean, this wasn't all like scripted out. You actually, I mean,
well, yeah. I mean, they write the words down, and then how I just choose to deliver them is all mine.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean,
but again, it's all much more in how you sit with her, how you hold her hand. You're always touching her. It's so many little things that you can do that influence how the whole reads.
It was so fun to watch. I mean, all the episodes were fun. I do remember. Well, I mean, I'm sure you were there, but the Office CPR episode, at least just talking about the Office in general, the CPR episode in it was just I don't know, it's just.
Well, Michael Scott, Michael Scott. I mean, there's really I'm stunned that they never gave him the Emmy.
Yeah.
Every year that he didn't win it, I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
This contest doesn't recognize the work that this guy's doing. He's playing one of the most difficult characters that's ever been on TV.
Yeah, he's
funny. He's funny every single time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's crazy how good he was in that part. And when he quit, when he left the show, I shouldn't say quit, but after season 7 was his last one,
mm-hmm.
I went up to him on the set one day and I said, "Congratulations." And he's like, "Huh? What?" And I said, "Congratulations for leaving."
Yeah.
And that was not the response that he was getting from everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else was, upset. They were sad to see him go. Nobody wanted to see them. That's like Kobe Bryant leaving the Lakers,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You'd be like, "Oh yeah, we traded Kobe Bryant." You're like, "What?"
Yeah, right.
No,
right.
no. No. We're not. We don't want to see this guy leave. Come on.
Yeah.
He's the show.
Right.
So, I mean, the last 2 seasons were, largely adrift in comparison to his comedic genius. But
yeah.
I told him, I said, "Congratulations." And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "No, for leaving." I said, "You've done everything that you can do with this part. You'd just be repeating yourself now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've done it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what else can you do with it?" And he was like, "Hey, man, thank you so much for getting it."
Yeah.
And, of course, it was people don't realize how much time it takes to make a series. It's a lot easier to go shoot a movie for 30 days
right.
than to grind out a series for 8 or 9 months. I mean, especially when you're the focal point and you're carrying every scene.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the workload
right.
is immense.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. With that, on that note, Bob, just with that, give us an idea. People were on board with Robert R. Shafer or Bob Vance Refrigeration from The Office, Criminal Minds, many shows that he's been involved in, radio or TV, movies, series. But give us an idea. As you touched on with a series and a movie, you have 30 days or so when you're making a movie. A series, actually, that is longer, 8-9 months. How many shoots do you do? How long does that 8-9 months with the shows the shows that you shoot? How long does that carry you? How many seasons is that?
That's one season. Typically, 9 months out of the calendar year is spent shooting a 25 episode network series.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the typical order, 24 episodes. Now they order less of them. You have to be a hit show. I mean, a new show usually gets an order for 6 episodes, or maybe 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's the pilot. And
mm-hmm.
then they'll give you the back-end order for the rest of the first season if it catches on. I mean, they don't give shows time to catch on now. I mean, and Netflix and Amazon have completely, muddied the market. Totally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because they're churning out these series, and I don't even think half the people realize, these shows are on.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like when there were, the big 3,
right.
ABC, NBC, and CBS.
Sure.
I mean, when you were a kid, remember Happy Days? It used to be on Tuesday night or whatever
Sure.
it was at 8 p.m. and you were sitting in front of that TV to watch that show.
That's right. That's
now, everybody's got a DVR, everybody's got a phone, you can watch stuff wherever, whenever, however, so the whole landscape is completely changed.
Absolutely, and I talked to many people on the music scene as well, and how that has changed as well. So,
well, what I would say is that when you're talking about film and television, it really comes down to the number of pages that are shot typically in a day. Like when I did Pee-wee's Big Holiday, that was a very leisurely film shoot. We would do maybe 2 or 3 pages a day, if that. I mean, nobody was in a hurry. It was kind of, a TV show. You'll come in, typically do 8 to 10 pages of script per day. So, in 5 days, you do 45 to 50 pages. On a soap opera, you come in and you do 30 pages. And I mean, it's all dialogue, but you're still doing 30 pages of dialogue. So that's a lot. So, again, in an independent film, my last one that I produced and wrote and starred in called Dick Dixter. Yes, his name is Dick Dixter.
I love it.
Check it out. It's not porno, okay? It is not porno. Although there's some porno involved. The story, Dick Dixter is a Hollywood director who's forced to remake his only hit horror film into a porno. So hijinks ensue.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny right off the bat,
That's funny.
But he's drunk the whole movie. He's a Jim Beam drinker, so
So am I.
Well, when you're drunk, that lets you do lots of crazy stuff.
Oh, I know.
People go, well, why was he so mean? And they go, well, because he's drunk. Why was he misogynistic? Oh, well, he's drunk. Yeah. Oh, he's such a hater. Well, he's drunk. He's drinking. He's got the bottle in his hand.
That's funny, man. Dick Dixter, I know, and we had that in one of our promo pictures when we were promoting you coming up on the show.
I noticed
so it was really cool. Dave, my PR guy, does such a great job reaching out to people like yourself. On board with Robert R. Shafer, maybe going, who? How about Bob Vance? Vance Refrigeration.
I've only been saying that for 15 years
I
now.
know, it's like crazy. Right. Listen, on the cast, what a great interview you are. Like, so let's go out drinking. If I get into a plane and get out there in L.A., is there a bar? Is there a bar that's open?
I'll be back that way.
All right.
I'm actually coming into New Jersey, into Atlantic City at the end of this month for a little horror con there in Atlantic City.
Oh, that's great, man. That would be fun if we can hook up or I don't know. I'll pay for transportation.
I was in Scranton last year. I came in and threw a pitch out at the Wilkes-Barre. What is it? The Rail Riders.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I bounced it. I mean, that was my biggest thing, So I'm like, I want to throw a strike. And the other times I've thrown out first pitches, I threw strikes, but that time I bounced it. And of course, that was the one time somebody, took video and posted it on YouTube, and they're all laughing. Oh, it's terrible. We bounced it.
That's
I'm like,
hilarious.
How do we get this video down? I don't care that the Playboy videos that I made back in the day are still circulating.
That's awesome. Yeah, me neither.
I'm proud of those.
Sure, absolutely.
That's me with naked girls.
That's
that's back when I was getting the girl.
So listen, I mean, you're single. Are you looking for? Are you really like single? I mean, are you single? Are you married?
I have a cat. I'm not married.
All right. That's smart.
No.
I've tried it 3 times.
Oh, have you? Well, I did. I did it, but I was just living with them. I didn't actually take the walk down the aisle.
Right.
I had some long-term relationships. It wasn't like I was just constantly a bachelor going through women like they're Kleenex here in L.A., the land of beautiful women.
Yeah.
My cousin is a rock and roll star. He's a bass player for Keith Urban.
Oh, yeah.
And he was out here for a while, and he lived here for 3 months up in Laurel Canyon, and so he was, going to sushi places. He says to me, how do you stand living here? Every woman here, they're like supermodels. Everywhere. They're everywhere. And I'm like, hello, welcome to Los Angeles, little man. Now go back to Nashville speaking of Nashville, man, they got wasted last night. That tornado did some damage.
They really did, and
That's a huge loss of life.
It sure is.
17.
Yeah, our hearts go out to all the people down there.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Is exactly right. On the board and on the show, this is Robert R. Shafer, Bob Vance, that you know from The Office, and so much more. In speaking with that, since it was such a cult classic series and continues to be, I also saw, and from my guys that spend a lot more time on the road than I do, because I'm always working to make pay so I can pay them to do nothing.
Well, yeah.
They said it's being re-released again. There's more Office merchandising coming into Spencer's. I don't know if Spencer's is Spencer's nationwide, guys. I don't know.
Yes,
we have,
yes, it is.
Yeah, so there you have merchandising again that has come back again for the Office. That's coming back into Spencer's. Which
Well,
is
that's
cool.
always been one of their key components of it.
Sure.
I mean, they're very savvy.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, there's a great episode called Dinner Party. And Jan, Michael's girlfriend in that episode,
Yep.
starts a new business called Scents by Jan, which is candles. Well, the very next day after that show aired, what was available on the NBC Store website, candles, Scents by Jan.
Uh-huh.
Candles were available for sale the next day on the website. So not only are they savvy, but they're ahead of the game. And if you'd like to go to NBCstore.com, please order the Vance Refrigeration hoodie, sweatshirt, and travel mug. I love the travel mug. I really do. It's one of those stainless steel jobs. And,
Yeah. It keeps it cold, you know.
I use it cold, use it hot. I mean, it's versatile. It's versatile.
Yeah. So do you still stay in touch with the crew from the cast members? I mean, are you still in touch?
Yes, here and there. I mean, there's quite a few of them that live here in Studio City where I live. And, should I have not revealed that? Listen, I've had fans coming up to my door, knocking on my door lately. I don't know how they got my address.
Really?
But there was a guy there last week he had 12 pictures he wanted me to sign. So obviously some dude in the autograph business, So I was sitting there, I was like, am I going to sign these? So I thought it was probably the better part of wisdom to sign him and just get him on his way, as opposed to going, hey, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
But I was not expecting you to knock on my door and some guy standing there with photos. Hey, sign these, so you can go sell them. Come on.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? I mean,
commerce. I love commerce. I mean, I'm a capitalist all the way.
Right, but sometimes you wonder who's knocking on the door. Like, I'm there with you. I hear.
Yeah,
you.
no, that's a little weird.
Yeah,
I mean, people should respect those kind of boundaries, but they don't. So,
no, they
that's kind of the weird thing about the fame aspect of it, as you know.
Sure.
I mean, it's part of the territory. I mean, some people are in it to achieve that in and of its own self, which is weird.
Certainly. Yeah, right.
I mean,
right.
Why?
Right.
Why?
Right. Indeed.
So, Dennis Quaid had one of the greatest lines about fame ever, and he's a pretty famous guy. He's been famous for 40 years now. I mean, he said, it's good for three things. You get better tea times, you get better seats in a restaurant, and you can do things for charity.
Yeah.
So those are the good things.
I hear leading down that road. You're a pretty good golfer. That's what I hear. That's what the guys are telling me.
Well, no, I mean a golfer is never good enough, and it's an eternal. It's an eternal pursuit from one swing to the next. I mean, it mysteriously evaporates, then it comes back. Then you think, I got this figured out, and then you don't the very next swing. So I love it, though. I love the mental aspect of it. I admire those guys. I mean, the discipline that it takes to be good at that game, wow. They're very impressive. I mean, actors have to be able to create that kind of space around themselves as well, where you go, I know you're watching me, but I'm going to go ahead and perform this anyway, even though, So you think about those guys, with the putt on 18,
Yeah.
40,000 people surrounding them. You can't hear a peep. I mean, that's the only time in the world that you're ever going to get 40,000 people being quiet together.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Listen, I know this guy's always looking for maybe a golf partner. You can hit him up. He's out there in L.A. too. He's a personal friend of our family, Denny Sywell. He comes from the rock and roll world, drummer for Paul McCartney and Wings. He's out there in L.A. Loves everything about L.A.
Well, that's not a bad gig that he had there.
No, not at all. Not at all. You can hit him up. You can find him.
That's a pretty good band.
Yeah. You can find him. Actually,
Sir, wait, you didn't call him Sir Paul McCartney. Please observe the distinction. He has been knighted.
He has been. He's
Sir Paul.
He's always up for a good time. Denny out in L.A. and like I said, personal friend of our family for a long time. He's playing at a place out there out towards you guys. Coming up the what is the name of the club? He has his own jazz trio now. The Spotlight Lounge or something in
Hollywood.
Yeah, in Hollywood. Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
The drummer, you said?
Yeah, the drummer. If you hit him up and you're out and about or going to grab
I was down at the auto repair shop the other day, which was big fun, and the guy sitting next to me in the waiting room. He's wearing all black leather, long white hair, and I said, "Rock and roll guy, huh?" And he looks at me and goes, "Yeah, I was piano player for Elton John."
No kidding.
Like, oh, that's a pretty good gig. He goes, "Yeah, it hasn't been bad." But people don't realize, as I said, my cousin Jerry Flowers has been on tour with Keith Urban for years. And, in fact, he was with the band, with Keith when he first started.
Yeah.
And the travel, the work that's involved in that, it's no easy life. I mean, really.
Nope.
I mean, it's hard sledding, especially when you're riding in a bus.
Yep. No, you're right.
That's a lot of miles grinded down those highways. People don't realize, I mean, the number one rule on the bus, right?
No, I don't know. What is it?
Oh, yeah, number one rule. You got to know it. Don't crap on the bus.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
You do your business at the truck stop.
I got you.
Do not crap on the bus.
I got you. I've been on a couple of rock and roll buses for a bunch of people.
Those might be different. This is a country bus.
There's a whole lot of crap going on some of the rock and roll buses. I don't know. All kinds of crap. The office. It is Bob Vance
Still
Refrigeration.
Dominating.
How about it, man? And coming
Still
back
dominating.
and even the on YouTube, guys. I mean, just you punch in the office scenes on YouTube. One of the funniest ones that I watch every once in a while, over and over again, are the bloopers. The bloopers are hilarious. They're just so real. Everything seemed to be so real. Like you said, you can tell that they are handheld cameras, but the scope of everything, what you guys all brought to the table.
It's an
Michael
amazing
Scott,
cast.
An
amazing cast.
Unbelievable, right?
There were times where there was a big sequence where everybody was rapid firing dialogue from one person to the next, and I remember standing off to the side, getting ready to enter or exit, whatever, and going, "Wow, this is amazing! The talent, the talent in here is ridiculous." Yeah. And I mean, Oscar, for instance, I mean, that guy is so talented. He could carry his own series. All those people could carry their own series. I mean, they're that good.
Yeah.
And it was it's convergence of writing and talent at the same time. I mean, it happens rarely. And the fact that here's what's most amazing is that the first go-round, our audience was 40-somethings with household incomes of $100,000 plus. Mm-hmm. That's why NBC loved them, because the demographic was right. I mean, they were selling that merchandise. Mm-hmm. This time around, I go to events and kids are 12 and 13 years old, right? And they come up to me and they go, "We're binge watching it." And I'm like, "Oh, Lord, you're binge watching it." It's still, the show seems a little bit older to me than 12 and 13, but like I said, I had the screening of Psycho Cop this week, and the director of that came up to me and said, my fans, my nephews and nieces are 12 and 11, and they can't believe that I know Bob Vance.
Yeah.
I'm like, not only do you know him, but he's going to send autographed goodies to your nieces and nephews, thus making you the greatest uncle in history.
It is crazy. I mean, I'll tell you, would you have ever thunk it, man, for real? I mean, everything that you've been in, I mean, Boston Legal, guys, Boston Legal, The West Wing. We're talking about not just Bob Vance from Vance Refrigeration, but Desperate Housewives, Cold Case, How I Met Your Mother, Criminal Minds, Malcolm in the Middle as a police officer. I saw that.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was really enjoyable. That was filmed at a studio, which was 5 minutes from my place, so I just kind of walked over there. So I really enjoy no commute here in L.A. It's really
how about
anytime. I'm like, where is this audition or where is this thing shooting?
Yeah.
That way I'm like, oh, no, wait, that's too far.
Yeah. I'll tell you, you are so amazing. I mean, even to talk to grant us, an interview, Dave reaching out to you, and I mean, could go on and on forever. What's next? I mean, you have a couple of things that you said that you produced independently, but what's next for Bob Vance, for Robert R. Shafer? What's next?
Well, I think we're going to make Psycho Cop 3.
Mm-hmm.
I've already written the script, and I wanted to modernize it. I wanted to bring it sort of out of the 80s, 90s feel. And so in this one, the rogue police officer is actually talking to Satan on his iPhone. So,
interesting.
Excuse me. Yeah, he gets phone calls from Satan.
Yep.
So, when you get that call, you have to take it. Like, hang on a second. Oh, wait. I got yes, Satan. Yes, Beelzebub. What can I do for you? You got to take Satan's phone call. Actually, I think we're going to make that because I really want to make it. I really want to make it scary. I really want to do the full on horror film.
Mm-hmm.
Not horror porn. I mean, gore porn. I don't like. It's going to be bloody. Obviously, it has to be bloody.
Right.
But not Saw bloody.
Right.
That kind of horror. I want you to be scared. I want people to jump up out of their seats.
Mm-hmm.
So. And that's old-fashioned horror. That hasn't really changed.
Right.
If you go back and look at Nosferatu from 1919 or whenever it was made,
yeah.
I mean, the scares in that are essentially the same scares that everyone has been making in the last 100 years.
Yeah.
Every now and then somebody comes up with a new one, but the scares have always been the scares.
Mm-hmm.
I would say if you went back and look at Buster Keaton working on screen, people need to see if they could do those stunts today. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In fact, I guarantee that nobody could do the stuff that he was doing.
Right.
I mean, the running, the physical, he was an Olympic athlete. So was the other guy, Buster, what's the other guy? Oh, I can't think of his name. But anyway, I'm just saying, it's, remarkably different.
Absolutely. It all is.
CGI, computer generated. I did this horror film a couple years ago called Zombievers. Okay?
Zombievers.
Zombievers. Talk about a great title. I did it just because of the title. They said, do you want to be in Zombievers? And I'm like, that's a hell of a title. Hell, that's going to get tons of internet hits. Yes, I want to be in Zombievers. So I went in and I auditioned for Zombievers. And the thing about it was a great, fun little part, right? I shot it in one day, and the director was a new upcoming guy, and, the financing was great, and Real Scene Gray was the company behind it. And they were doing animatronics. They weren't doing CGI. They were actually using puppets.
Okay.
So if you get a chance, it's just the most hysterical horror film ever.
Zombievers.
Zombievers.
I gotta look at that, man. We got that down. The guys wrote that down. I want to watch that. Listen. I'd play a part.
Yeah.
I'd play a part in Zombievers.
Yeah, and listen, when girls are in bikinis swimming in the pond and there's Zombievers, there's going to be trouble.
Hell yeah.
You know that.
Listen, you know what? If there's any parts like that, call me. I'll have Dave fly me out to L.A. I want to be in those kind of parts. Want to be? I mean,
yeah,
you know what? You lived.
that's too good.
You have lived a good life. I mean, you got laughs going on here in movies like Zombievers, but then in a series called Classic that is being brought back into the mix again and again and again, like you said, from 40, 50-year-olds now to 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old kids that are getting on board and binge watching The Office. Like it's a resurgence in Bob Vance. Vance Refrigeration's career.
Exactly. And the thing is the jokes
awesome.
never get old.
No.
The laughs
No.
never go away.
They don't.
The laughs are. It's like Seinfeld. The laughs are always there,
Yeah, they are.
even though you've seen it.
Yeah.
You've seen it a bunch of times, right?
Yeah.
It's still going to make you laugh,
It
even
is.
though you've seen it, even though you know what the joke is, even
Yeah.
though you know what's coming.
Yeah.
So that's sort of what differentiates say us in the Big Bang Theory or something like that.
Right.
It's a little more, I don't know, tonally different, obviously. But, it's a sitcom, and it knows it's a sitcom, and we never really let on, that we were filming a TV show.
Yeah, it is just it was amazing, and the run that it has, and then the resurgence of it all again, and on board is Robert R. Shafer, and those of you that know him as Bob Vance, or even from Criminal Minds, or maybe Zombievers. Maybe you know Robert R. Shafer from Zombievers.
Well, I'll tell you a quick story about Criminal Minds. I actually wanted to rename the show and call it Criminal Whisperers, because all those actors doing that shows whisper to each other. They're like, so I go to the sound guys and I'm like, how do you guys do it? Because I'm in the scene with these guys and I can't even hear them. And they're like, oh, it's the worst. Literally, it's absolutely the worst. So, because I have a theater voice, so I'm used to projecting. I mean, I go in, wah, wah, wah. I'm loud, I'm big, and these guys are. And so, but anyway, it was a great show to do. Those people. I was on in the season opener in season 11. So a TV show that's been around for 11 seasons knows their stuff.
Right.
It's not like a startup. Sure. I mean, these people are pros, and they're used to cranking it out. And so it's a real pleasure to do a show like that. Like I said, because of the expertise that you're working with.
I can only.
I mean,
I
like the pros.
Right. As long as they talk a little louder. The whispering thing is like, that's the only drawback.
Well, that's their problem. I'm going to suck focus then. I'm going to hammer you. You're in trouble. The whispering's not going to work with me around. You're going to have to adjust to me, and not me adjust to you. I'm not, I'm 6'4". I'm not coming down to be 5'2". I'm going to stay up here. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
so come on up. Come on up.
It is too fun. Things are good. Things for good. Things are good for Robert Shafer, Bob Vance. That you can tell things are good. You're enjoying life.
I like to. I mean, it's much better that way.
How about it? Right?
I'm a half full guy. Always. You choose happiness, right? If I could say that to the audience today, choose happiness. That's the key thing you have to know. You choose it. So, what's the option?
It's a message that we talk about here, all about choices that I say all the time right here. It's your choice. You can choose happy or you can choose not, and your
That's
choice.
Right.
Absolutely
That's right.
Absolutely.
Well,
right.
I got into the Stoics. The Greek philosophy of the Stoics, and their key thing is that you do not let other people have control over you emotionally.
Right.
And so that's a really hard thing to do. Of course, as an actor, I deal in emotions, right? What did Steve McQueen say in Magnificent Seven? We deal in lead, friend.
Yep.
So, one of my favorite lines of all time. Right. We deal in lead, friend. What business are you in? We deal in lead, friend.
That's it. It's well said. Has there been a time where it was tough for you that you had to trudge on, and advice you have for people that if you pursue your dream?
Well, Yeah, I mean, you just have to outwork everybody. That's all it is. And you have to not quit. I mean, that's really the mark of it's a long race. It's a marathon. The great thing about this business is that you could get struck by lightning at the very beginning, and you're anointed, and you're Tom Cruise, and then you could be just a middle class actor, making a living, and you have to do what you have to do to make a living, and everything that you make. I mean, I worked in restaurants and bars for years, and everything that you make, to keep yourself alive, has to go into your business, which is you, the actor, the product. You are the product. So you have to sell that. And I think you have to rely on yourself to do that and not rely on other people to do it. I mean, your agents, that's always a battle. So, it's really, when people are out on Saturday night partying at the bar, you're doing a play. Or you're at the gym pumping iron, or you're writing, or you're trying to produce something that you star in. That's the best role that you could ever play. That would be my advice: is make your own movie. I mean, it's not that hard. Get a couple cameras. The hard thing is to write the script.
Sure.
Clearly, I mean, more great writers have failed at writing scripts than Hemingway couldn't hack it. Fitzgerald couldn't hack it. Faulkner couldn't hack it. I mean, they all tried to be screenwriters, and screenwriting is J. difficile. It's the hardest thing. I mean, it's the script. I mean, how many great scripts does Hollywood produce in 1 year? 10 out of 500 films. I mean, 10 really great scripts. I mean, really. Not that many.
It's good advice to use to
make your own movie. Make your own movie. That's it.
And that could be almost taken and translated into anything. Make your own movie or make your own life, and choose happiness, man. Choose happiness.
America. It's America after all.
You can make it.
Land of the free, home of the brave.
Let me tell you something.
All the way.
If I made a living out of drinking like a few 100 million rum and coke, having a couple of cigarettes, and playing music and talking to people like you on the radio, anybody can make it in this world, for Christ's sake. What the hell?
Yeah, well, the rum and coke is really the pirate thing that that makes the whole thing run.
It does. Listen,
I like a little Cuba Libre every now and then myself. Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. Listen. You stay in touch.
Sure.
You got to make sure you stay in touch when you get here to Scranton. I won't tell anybody you're in town, and we can we can do our thing. I can get us a ride, and nobody will even know we're in it. It almost looks like a federal government vehicle.
No, I've been in one of those. Of course, I was handcuffed, but that's another story. Hey, listen, Bob Vance does pretty well in Scranton. Believe me.
All right.
I go into a restaurant there'll be a crowd descending pretty quick. There were some kids the last time I was there. The word went out. Bob Vance is at this restaurant. Well, they came running down the hill from the college.
That's awesome.
University of Scranton, I believe.
Yep.
And they were all sweaty and, trembly and excited to take pictures. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
That's fun.
So then the girl says, here, talk to my dad. So then she puts me on the phone. I'm like, Dad, I did not buy your daughter any drinks. Do not blame Bob Vance for that. He's still happily married to Phyllis.
Oh, that's funny, man. It is so humbling to just shoot the shit with you. Listen, I know this is going to come off sounding really weird, but I'm going to make sure Dave, my PR guy, gets the information. But I'll show you mine if you show me yours. But I'm talking some really cool T-shirt and merch that I'm going to make sure that Dave gets a mailing address. We won't do that here on the air. Send out and
I like swag.
I like swag too. So listen, I'm buying my own swag. If you feel like giving me up some of your shit, I'll wear it, man. I have no problem doing it.
Oh yeah, no, I like when people fly the flag. Let's go.
Yeah,
somebody said to me the other day, "You're wearing a Vance Refrigeration shirt," and I said, "Who the fuck? Excuse me, who?
You can say it.
But me could wear this. Who should be wearing this? But me." Yeah.
You are too funny. You are so humbling, and no wonder that you've been a cross television, movies, and I think we'll be seeing more. And I look forward, man, to Psycho Cop 3. Familiar with 1 and 2, and looking forward to it. We started
we're
out.
gonna shake your peaches.
We started. I'm ready. I mean, and we got to stay in touch. Dave is on board with the show right now. I know he'll stay in touch with your people, and I would love to do it
I'm
again.
on Facebook.
Yeah, I know, and you gotta get him on Facebook. Robert R. Shafer.
I feed him at least once or twice a week on Facebook. So.
That's awesome. That's freaking hilarious. Listen, so we started out this interview with the plumber at your house. Is he still there?
Oh yeah, no, he's got a week's worth of new pipes to go in. So I'm looking forward to a shower that actually functions, and that'll be nice to be clean. You know, I'm tired of bathing in the sink. It's a little rough. I'm 6'5", 200 pounds. So,
is this a new house? Is this like a new house?
No. It's an old one.
All right, I didn't know. I mean, you're in there in Studio City. I didn't know if it was like one of those, 48, 68, $78 million homes or something.
No. I would have to be the star of the series, and even then, I would I'd really think about it.
Yeah,
wait a minute, maybe Charleston, West Virginia is looking pretty good right about now.
It's Robert R. Shafer, Bob Vance from Vance Refrigeration, and a very candid. I don't know if we really accomplished shit on the interview. We were talking like hell and having some fun. I guess did we do enough? All right.
We dropped some big bombs. We were current. We were historic. We had some wise sayings here.
I'll take your
I
word
may
for it.
say so myself.
Listen, I'd love to say my goodbyes if you can give me just like 10 seconds. 10 seconds,
Sure.
I can do it off the air.
Lehighton, Palmerton, Gem Thorpe, and nationwide. It's Colossal Radio. Find us online at colossalradio.rocks.